I still remember the day my stepmother told me I was going to get married. I didn't say yes. I didn't even understand what she meant at first. But she looked at me with cold eyes and said, "You don't have a choice." Those words stayed in my head like a storm that never stopped. My name is Eva. I was 18 years old when everything changed. Before that, my life was not perfect, but it was peaceful. I lived with my father in a small house. My mother passed away when I was very young, so I don't remember her face clearly, but I remember her voice, soft and warm. My father used to smile more back then. Everything changed when he married my stepmother, Maya. At first, she acted kind. She cooked my favorite food. She asked me about school. She even bought me a dress once. I thought maybe things would be okay. But slowly, her true self came out. It started with small things. "Why are you so slow?" she would say when I cleaned the house. "Other girls your age are better," she would add with a sharp voice. I tried to be better. I woke up early. I cleaned everything. I cooked when she told me. But nothing was enough. My father, he changed too. He stopped talking to me like before. When I tried to tell him how I felt, he would just say, "Listen to your stepmother. She knows what is best." Those words hurt me more than anything. Because he used to protect me. Now he just watched. Or maybe he chose not to see. One evening, I came home from school and found Maya sitting in the living room. She was smiling, but it didn't feel warm. It felt wrong. "Come here, Eva," she said. I walked slowly and sat down. She looked at me from head to toe. "You are not a child anymore," she said. I stayed quiet. She continued, "You need to think about your future." I didn't understand. "I want to finish school," I said softly. She laughed. "School, that is not important for you." My heart dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked. She leaned closer. "I found a good man for you." I froze. "Oh, a man," I said. "Yes," she said proudly. "He has money, he has a house, he will take care of you." "I don't want that," I said quickly. "I want to study. I want to choose my own life." Her smile disappeared. "You are not in a position to choose," she said coldly. At that moment, my father walked into the room. "Baba," I said, my voice shaking. "Please tell her I don't want this." He looked at me, then at her. Then he sighed. "It's a good opportunity," he said. I felt like my chest was breaking. "Good for who?" I asked. "For you," he replied. But his voice was weak. "No," I said, shaking my head. "This is not my dream." Maya stood up suddenly. "Dream," she said loudly. "Dreams don't feed you. Dreams don't give you a house." Tears filled my eyes. "I don't care," I said. "I don't want to marry someone I don't know." She stepped closer to me. "You will do as I say," she whispered. I looked at my father again. He didn't say anything. That silence, it hurt more than her words. From that day, everything became worse. She stopped letting me go out with friends. She checked my phone. She gave me more housework. "If you want to stay in this house," she said, "you follow my rules." I felt like a prisoner. One night, I heard her talking on the phone. "Yes," she said. "She is young and quiet. She will be a good wife." My hands started to shake. They were talking about me like I was an object. Not a person. Not a daughter. Just something to give away. The next morning, she handed me a dress. "Wear this," she said. "Why?" I asked. "You will meet him today." My heart started beating fast. No, I said, stepping back. Her face turned dark. Don't make this difficult. I said no, I repeated, but my voice was weak. She grabbed my arm tightly. You think you have power, she said. You have nothing. I pulled my arm away. I have myself, I said. She laughed. We will see. That day, I locked myself in my room. I cried for hours. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have money. I didn't have anyone to help me. And my own father didn't stand on my side. That night, he knocked on my door. Eva, he said softly. I opened it slowly. Why are you doing this to me? I asked. He looked tired. I'm not doing anything, he said. I just want a better life for you. This is not better, I said. This is not my choice. He looked down. Sometimes we don't get to choose, he said. Those words broke something inside me. Because I knew if I stayed silent, they would take my life away from me. And no one would stop them. That was the moment I realized I was completely alone. After that night, the house no longer felt like my home. It felt like a place where I was waiting for something bad to happen. Maya became more strict every day. She watched everything I did. If I sat for too long, she would shout, "Why are you being lazy?" If I tried to study, she would say, "Stop wasting time. Books won't help you now." One morning, I woke up early to read my school notes. I wanted to hold on to something that still felt like mine. But she walked in and took the book from my hands. You still don't understand, do you? She said. I just want to finish school, I replied quietly. She threw the book on the floor. You don't need school where you're going. Her words made my stomach twist. Where am I going? I asked, even though I already knew. To your husband's house, she said with a cold smile. I picked up my book, but I couldn't read anymore. The words became blurry. That same day, she told me to clean the whole house again. I had already cleaned it in the morning. Why again? I asked. Because I said so, she replied. I stayed silent and started cleaning. But inside, I felt something growing. Not just sadness anymore. Something stronger. Something angry. A few days later, she told me we were going to visit someone. Wear something nice, she said. I don't want to go, I replied. You are going, she said firmly. My father was standing near the door. I looked at him, hoping he would say something. But he just avoided my eyes. We got into a car. I sat in the back seat, my hands cold and shaking. After a short drive, we stopped in front of a big house. It was bigger than ours. The gate was tall, the walls were clean. Everything looked perfect. But I felt scared. We walked inside. A man was sitting in the living room. He looked older than my father. His hair was thin. His face had deep lines. When he smiled, it didn't feel kind. This is her, Maya said proudly. The man stood up and looked at me slowly. Like he was checking something. He said. She looks obedient. I felt sick. I am not, I said quietly. Maya squeezed my arm hard. Don't be rude, she whispered. The man laughed. It's okay, he said. She will learn. Those words made my chest tight. Learn what? To obey. To stay silent. To accept everything. We sat down. They started talking about me. Like I wasn't even there. She can cook, Maya said. She wakes up early, she added. She doesn't go out much. I wanted to scream. I'm right here, I said. They both looked at me. I'm not a thing, I continued. You can't just decide my life. The room became quiet. The man's face changed. He looked annoyed. Young girls talk too much these days, he said. I'm not a child, I replied. Damaya stood up quickly. That's enough, she said. She forced a smile. She is just nervous. I stood up too. I don't want this, I said clearly. My voice was shaking, but I didn't stop. I don't want to marry him. The man looked at Damaya. His face was now serious. You told me she agreed, he said. She will agree, Damaya replied. No, I said louder. I won't. My heart was beating so fast. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Let's go home, I said, looking at my father. He stood up slowly. But he didn't look at me. Instead, he looked at Damaya. She nodded slightly. Then he said, Sit down, Eva. I froze. What? I whispered. Sit down, he repeated. Tears filled my eyes. You want this too? I asked. He didn't answer. That silence again. It felt like a knife. I slowly sat back down. But my body felt weak. The rest of the visit felt like a nightmare. They talked about dates, about money, about arrangements. I just sat there staring at the floor. When we finally left, I felt empty. In the car, no one spoke. But I could feel it. Something was decided. And I was not part of that decision. That night, I packed a small bag. Just a few clothes, my school book, and a photo of my mother. I sat on my bed and looked at the door. Should I run away? Where would I go? I had no money, no friends I could trust with this, no family. I felt trapped, like a bird in a cage. The next morning, Damaya came into my room without knocking. Get ready, she said. For what? I asked. For your engagement, she replied. My heart stopped. So soon, I said. Yes, she answered. The wedding will be next month. No, I whispered. She looked at me with sharp eyes. You are still saying no, she asked. Yes, I said louder this time. I will never agree. Her face became angry. You are being selfish, she said. I am being human, I replied. She stepped closer. If you don't do this, she said slowly, you will leave this house with nothing. I swallowed hard. I already have nothing, I said. For a second, she looked surprised. Then she smiled again. A cold, dangerous smile. We will see about that, she said. Later that day, my father came to my room again. Why are you making things hard? He asked. Because this is my life, I said. He sighed. You don't understand, he said. We have problems, many problems. I looked at him. So you're selling me? I asked. His face changed. Don't say that, he said. But it feels like that, I replied. He sat down. This man will help us, he said. He will support the family. And what about me? I asked. You will live comfortably, he said. With someone I don't love, I asked. Love. The word felt heavy. He didn't answer. Again. Always silence. I looked at him. Tears falling down my face. I just wanted you to protect me, I said. He looked away. And in that moment, I understood something very painful. He chose her. He chose money. He didn't choose me. That night, I cried until I couldn't cry anymore. But inside me, something started to change. The fear was still there. The pain was still there. But now, there was also a small voice. A quiet voice. It said, "This is not the end." And for the first time, I started to think, maybe I don't have to accept this. Maybe I can fight back. The day of the engagement came faster than I expected. I didn't sleep the night before. I sat on my bed holding my mother's photo, staring at her face. "Please help me," I whispered. But the room stayed silent. In the morning, Damaya came in with a bright smile. "Today is your big day," she said. It didn't feel like my day. It felt like the end of my life. She placed a dress on the bed. It was beautiful. Soft fabric, light colors, small flowers. But when I touched it, my hands felt cold. "I'm not wearing this," I said. Her smile disappeared. "You will," she replied. "No," I said again. She walked closer and looked straight into my eyes. "You think you can stop this?" she asked. "Yes," I said, even though my heart was shaking. "I won't go." For a second, she said nothing. Then she turned and walked out. I thought maybe she would give up. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she would finally listen. But I was wrong. A few minutes later, my father came into the room. He looked serious. "Get ready," he said. "I already told her no," I replied. "You don't understand the situation," he said. "I understand enough," I said. "You are forcing me." His face became hard. "No one is forcing you," he said. I stood up. "Then I can say no, right?" I asked. He didn't answer. I felt anger rising inside me. "Say it," I said. "Say I can refuse." He stayed silent. That silence again. It was always his answer. I laughed, but it sounded broken. "You can't even say it," I said. Before he could reply, Dalmia walked back in. She wasn't smiling anymore. "Enough talking," she said. Then 2 women I didn't know came into the room. "Help her get ready," Dalmia told them. My heart started racing. "What is this?" I asked. No one answered. The women walked toward me. "Please," one of them said softly. "Don't make trouble." I stepped back. "Don't touch me," I said. But they didn't stop. They held my arms. "Let go," I shouted. I struggled, but they were stronger. Tears fell down my face. "Baba," I cried. "Please." I looked at my father. He was standing near the door. Watching. Not moving. Not helping. That was the moment. The moment everything broke. He didn't look away this time. He looked straight at me. And still, he did nothing. The women dressed me like I was a doll. They fixed my hair. They put makeup on my face. I couldn't stop crying. But no one cared. When they finished, Dalmia looked at me. "Perfect," she said. I looked in the mirror. I didn't recognize myself. The girl in the mirror looked quiet. Empty. Like she had already given up. "Let's go," Dalmia said. I didn't move. "I'm not going," I whispered. Her eyes became cold again. "You don't have a choice," she said. Then she turned to my father. "Tell her," she said. He walked closer to me. For a moment, I thought maybe now, Maybe now he will stop this. Maybe he will finally protect me. But then he said something I will never forget. "If you don't go," he said slowly, "don't call me your father anymore." My heart stopped. I felt like the ground disappeared under my feet. "What?" I whispered. "You heard me," he said. I stared at him. The man I trusted. The man I loved. The man who was supposed to protect me. He chose them over me. "I am your daughter," I said, my voice shaking. "Then act like it," he replied. Those words, they destroyed me. Because I realized something very painful. To him, being a good daughter meant being silent. Obeying. Giving up my life for them. I couldn't breathe. Tears kept falling, but I didn't even feel them anymore. Everything inside me felt numb. "Fine," I said quietly. They both looked at me. "I'll go," I continued. Dalmia smiled again. "I knew you would understand," she said. But she didn't understand. Not at all. Because in that moment, something inside me changed forever. They took me to the engagement ceremony. There were many people, music, food, smiles. Everyone looked happy. Except me. I sat next to the man. He smiled at the guests. Then he leaned closer to me. "Don't worry," he said. "You will get used to this." I turned my face away. I felt sick. I felt trapped. I felt gone. The ceremony started. People clapped. They talked about our future. They talked about happiness. But all I could hear was noise. Empty noise. Then someone brought the rings. My hands started shaking again. This is it, I thought. This is where I lose everything. The man picked up a ring. He reached for my hand. I looked at my father one last time. Hopping. Begging. Silently. But he didn't look at me. He was smiling. Talking to someone. Like nothing was wrong. That was the final betrayal. Not the forcing. Not the shouting. Not the control. But the fact that he acted like it was normal. Like my pain didn't exist. Something broke inside me. Completely. The man held my hand tighter. "Stay still," he whispered. And in that moment, I stopped crying. I stopped shaking. I stopped feeling afraid. Because the pain was too much. And when pain becomes too much, it changes into something else. Something stronger. I slowly pulled my hand away. The room became quiet. Everyone looked at me. My heart was beating fast again. But this time it was different. I stood up. "I can't do this," I said. My voice was not shaking anymore. It was clear. Strong. And for the first time, I felt like myself again. The man held my hand tighter. "Stay still," he whispered. And in that moment I stopped crying. I stopped shaking. I stopped feeling afraid because the pain was too much. And when pain becomes too much, it changes into something else, something stronger. I slowly pulled my hand away. The room became quiet. Everyone looked at me. My heart was beating fast again, but this time it was different. I stood up. "I can't do this," I said. My voice was not shaking anymore. It was clear, strong, and for the first time I felt like myself again. The room went silent. No music, no talking, just eyes all on me. "I can't do this," I said again. My voice was calm now, stronger than before. The man stood up quickly. "What are you doing?" he asked, his face angry. "I'm choosing my life," I replied. Dalmia rushed toward me. "Sit down," she whispered through her teeth. "Don't embarrass us." I shook my head. "I'm not your property," I said. Gasps filled the room. People started whispering. "She is crazy. What is happening? This is shameful." I didn't care anymore. For the first time, I really didn't care what they thought. My father walked toward me. His face was red. "You are making a mistake," he said. "No," I answered. "I was making a mistake before. Now I am fixing it." He looked shocked. "After everything we did for you," he said. I felt a deep pain in my chest. "Everything," I repeated. "You mean forcing me, selling my future." "Stop talking like that," he shouted. But I didn't stop. "You didn't listen to me," I said. "You didn't protect me." His expression changed. For a moment, I saw something in his eyes. Guilt. But it was too late. The man stepped forward. "This is unacceptable," he said. "You agreed to this marriage." "I never agreed," I replied. "You came here," he said. "I was forced," I answered. The room became louder. People started talking more. Some looked uncomfortable, some looked angry. Dalmia grabbed my arm again. "You will sit down right now," she said. I pulled my arm away. "Don't touch me," I said firmly. She looked at me like she didn't know me anymore. And maybe she didn't. Because I was not the same girl. Not the quiet girl. Not the scared girl. That girl was gone. "I'm leaving," I said. "No, you are not," my father said. "Yes, I am," I replied. "If you walk out that door," he said slowly, "don't ever come back." The words were heavy. They hit my heart. This was it. The final choice. Stay and lose myself. Or leave and lose everything else. I looked around the room. Strangers, fake smiles, empty happiness. Then I looked at my father. The man who chose silence over me. Then I looked at Dalmia. The woman who tried to control my life. And finally, I looked at myself. I took a deep breath. "I will leave," I said. My voice was soft but strong. I turned around and started walking. Each step felt heavy, but also free. Behind me, I heard shouting. "Lena, stop. You will regret this. Come back." But I didn't stop. I didn't look back. Not even once. I walked out of that house, out of that life, out of that pain and into the unknown. Outside, the air felt different. Fresh, cold, real. I stood there for a moment. My hands were empty. No money, no homes, no family. But for the first time, I had something important. I had myself. I started walking down the street. I didn't know where to go. But I kept walking, because staying was not an option anymore. After some time, I reached a small bus stop. I sat down and held my bag tightly. Tears started falling again. But this time, they were different. Not just pain, but also relief. "I did it," I whispered to myself. I really did it. A woman sitting next to me looked at me. "Are you okay?" she asked kindly. I nodded slowly. "I will be," I said. And I meant it. That day, I left everything behind. But I didn't lose. I won. Because I chose myself. The journey after that was not easy. I worked small jobs. I struggled. I felt lonely many nights. But I kept going. Step by step, day by day. I went back to school. I studied hard. I built my life again. Slowly but strongly. Years later, I stood in front of a mirror again. Just like that day. But this time, I recognized the person looking back. She looked tired but proud. She looked strong and free. Sometimes, I still think about my father and Dalmia. I don't hate them, but I don't forget. Because their actions taught me something important. No one has the right to control your life. No one has the right to take your voice. And silence can hurt more than words. If I stayed that day, I would have lost everything. But I didn't. I chose to walk away. And that choice saved me.